started. Y'all ready? Okay. Nice. All right. Okay, so today is the grand finale of the 4-day business boost where I'm sharing the prosperity principles 7 and 8 today, the last two. And this is kind of like if you did a countdown, we're doing, these last two are so imperative. If I had to just share two, it would be what I'm sharing today. So, all right. And so in addition to sharing those two things, I'm also going to show you a process of flipping some beliefs, and I'm going to share an opportunity, and I'm going to answer any questions and do a little coaching with you all. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. Okay, so yesterday we talked about how money is simply a tool. And, just like a hammer can create something or destroy something, and a cell phone can do like a billion different things. And, you can choose to do something positive or negative with it. Money is also simply a tool. So this concept is hard to grok because we have so many emotional associations with it. But that's really the bottom line, right? So, so this next concept is principle number 7. And this is something that can change your perception of money and forever. And it's basically that money is relationship. So the principle of relationship. So there's multifaceted, the overall principle. So there's your relationship with money. And then there's also your relationship with other people and connection, which we talked about before, because money can't come if you're in a vacuum. You have to have a space to receive it. And that means connection somehow. So you have a relationship with money. So it may be conscious, it may be unconscious, maybe a little bit of both. Because you're here, it's probably a little bit of both at least. So money has translated to survival in modern society. It represents survival in a way because we don't only grow our own food and depend on our sort of tribe to survive. We actually have money, unless you're completely off the grid. And the more money you have, the less limited you are in what you can do in the world. So this is why being emotionally distanced from money does not feel safe. So it's like, so if there's any kind of avoidance or pushing it away or saying I don't like money, those kinds of things, it doesn't work because you're still in a relationship with money. So it's about making that relationship a conscious relationship. So a lot of people have dysfunctional relationship with money. That can look like, okay, I have all these little analogies here. So it can look like codependence, drama, lack of personal responsibility with the relationship, kind of blaming money for the relationship the way it is, not being committed fully, on again, off again. Or I've even heard it described as like somebody described one time the relationship with money was like a one-night stand. Here today, gone tomorrow. So, yeah. Okay, so all right. So, okay, so we keep going here. So it's kind of like, asking yourself the question, like, are you kind of casually dating money? Or are you in a committed long-term relationship? Like, how much quality time do you spend together? How deep is that commitment? How far and long does it go? Because like long-term, when relationships get to a certain point, they have a long-term planning component. And so that is, that's a long-term commitment. So, and that's like quality time and long-term commitment to use money as a tool for emotional connection with your vision and a manifesting tool, which I go more into that in my money program, but I just want to introduce that concept here so you're aware of it. Quality time. So having Barry Tesler, who wrote the book, The Art of Money, talks about money dates. and having consciously planned out time for your relationship with money and doing your numbers. And I would also add to, visioning and manifesting with those tools. So reconnecting, with money. So to feel safe and not emotionally distanced, to like have that awareness of like when you're tuned in, knowing your numbers, knowing how much money you're spending in your personal and your business separate from each other, and where you want to go in each of those ways and how they impact each other. So another way that this can look is it's kind of like looking, so thinking about it as a friendship, kind of like if you're pissed at money for not visiting you, but you never reach out. So it's like an old friend who you haven't kept up with or reached out to, but you keep blaming them. So really the ball is always in your court with this relationship, right? Because you're the one that's, conscious. All right. So here's a great quote. Our relationship to money is both a key influencer and indicator of our sense of worth, purpose, and place in this world. And it's also, a desire to feel safe and seen. So here's a few different ideas of what the relationship can look like. So just consider and reflect for a moment, like, where are you? Like if one of these images was to reflect where you are, what would that look like? Just notice that for a second. And maybe there's another analogy too you want to step into. I love this quote by Sue Zorman. Money is a living entity, and it responds to energy exactly the same way you do. It is drawn to those who welcome it, those who respect it. Wouldn't you rather be with people who respect you and who don't want to be something you're not? Your money feels the same way. And here's a summary of that in a different way by Marie Forleo. Money's like you and me. It's attracted to respect and appreciation. And that kind of ties into the gratitude piece before, like, being where you're at. Okay. So prosperity principle number 8. So this principle is counterintuitive. It's one of the most counterintuitive and important things you'll hear me say. So really tune into this one. So there's some research that shows, like, when they look at brains of people, and I just read this in Martha Beck's book, Way of Integrity. There's some research about, like, when they look at people's brains who've been enlightened, so they've reached this high level of state of consciousness, of peace, of inner peace. There are 2 things that their brains are showing us. One is that they believe that they're not in control. They acknowledge, accept that they're not in control. And the other one is that they're not separate, that we are not separate. This blew my mind, because it's like, oh, that sounds simple, right? Just completely accept that you're not in control or not in control, and that we're actually all connected all the time. So huge. So with the analogy of money here, how to have peace with money. And I'll tell you my journey, as I shared in day 1, like, I've had some ups and downs with money, some very significant ones where I didn't have food to eat, was homeless not homeless all the way on the street, but like I had to find a place to stay with friends, whatever. So I'm really lucky in that way and very privileged. But it was not easy. There were some low points for me. And this is all when I was self-employed 20 years ago. And and also, like, there's a new level, new doubles. No matter how high you go making money, your expenses also increase significantly. So there's always potential for money stress, no matter how much money someone's making. So this relationship piece and this piece right here, this allowing and non-grasping. So because if you don't get caught up in your identity or freak out or make it mean something or like go into shame about it, you can just accept it, right? And the thing is, like, energetically, so think about this. If you have a feather and a feather is falling down and you try to grab for it, the air current you create by grasping for it is going to displace the feather and you can't get it. But if you sit down and you hold your hand open, the feather can land in your hand. And so just think about a dog as well. So what happens when you chase a dog? It runs, right? Or a little kid too, really. So, or, so think about, if I always use a metaphor of like, thinking about money like a dog. This is kind of weird, but like if you have a little cozy bed and you put some bacon in it and you let it come on its own terms, it will arrive. Promise. Unless you have some kind of crazy dog that doesn't like bacon. So so think about these and like notice and tune into your vision, like this vision of like, allowing and creating your vision. If you grab onto it or you attach to the outcome that you want so much, it's gonna tighten you and contract you, as opposed to allowing the unfolding and keep taking steps. It's not just, it's not, I'm not saying at all to just, wait for it, because that's never my motto. It's definitely to have some kind of conscious creation relationship with it, for sure. Yeah, this is huge. Okay. So that's principle number 8. Congratulations, you're through the 8 principles. And we'll review those in a few minutes. Okay, so remember that vision that you have. So tuning into that vision and feeling that experience when you imagine in the future that you're already there, tuning into what it feels like. And so just remember that feeling. Let charge you up for a second. And then, the key to getting there too is removing the obstacles in the way. If you're going to go on a journey up a mountain, like how do you like remove the stuff in your backpack so you can make the trips, easier. So it's important to look at money beliefs, and I'm going to show you a process that's really powerful to clear them. And we do a lot of this in my 6-week money program, but I'm just going to introduce you to this tool here and show you a few of them. Okay, so our culture is completely rampant with limiting and contradictory money beliefs. If you think about it, so there's a message that's it's good to be rich. There's a message that it's greedy to be rich. There's a message that it's noble to be poor, or that it's bad to be poor. All of these are just opinions. These are all beliefs. These are all emotional charges placed on money. Money's not doing any of those things. So we also have messages from our parents, our teachers, our movies, friends, TV, media, like, there's, and our DNA, our ancestors, like was in us from the past, all kinds of things. And as creatives, we have a special kind of belief system thrust upon us, including the starving artist myth, which we talked about, undervaluing creativity and art. And even though the irony is that our culture thrives in these things, you see, art in all kinds of forms every day. And, I would not have wanted to go through the pandemic without music and movies and TV. Absolutely. And the art on my walls even. And making art. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So it's important to take a look at the programs that limit you so that they don't get in the way of your vision. Okay. So here's some common limiting beliefs. See if you can relate to any of these. Rich people are greedy. And if I make a lot of money, I will be too. We talked about this yesterday too. So money just makes you more of who you already are. People would judge me if I have a lot of money. And those two come in hand because people often judge rich people. And any kind of judgment is a fear, really. So that can be a lot of different angles of fear. I will lose important people in my life if I'm successful, especially if I'm more successful than them. And this happens with people about their parents. Like, I'm afraid to make more money than my dad or whatever. Even after their parents are gone, I've seen this. So there's an interesting thing that happens there with that one. I'll be overburdened by work or responsibility if I make a lot of money. So the idea that you have to work harder to make more money, and that you have to, that concept is also limiting belief, because you can work smarter. I can't make I can't make enough doing what I want to do. It hasn't worked so far, so therefore it's impossible. Basically, this is a form of saying the past is going to happen again, which is a limiting belief. And here's one that can be really deep. I don't deserve to do what I love and have enough, or even excess. So these are some limiting beliefs. So kind of notice those, see which ones like have a pang to them, and shake them off for a second. And if there's one here that you resonate with, go ahead and you can write it down, because we're going to do some work with it. Okay, the way these show up. So these may be the beliefs that are either unconscious or conscious. And the way these show up in your life is financial vagueness or avoidance, self-sabotage. It can come in all kinds of forms. Not following through, again, vagueness with pricing, vagueness with communication with clients or leads, underpricing yourself and having excuses for it, saying you don't want to undercut the competition or whatever. Perfectionism, this is a huge one for me. Like just getting it done and perfectly instead of not doing it. So get her done instead of perfectionism, or not getting the support you need to go to the next level. Like, you know, I think there's this belief with entrepreneurship that you should just know what to do. But nobody, like, unless you've been taught by a mentor and you've had training in business, marketing, sales, and finances, then you may not know what to do. And you may need somebody who can support you to learn in the ways that can take you further. Judging receiving. So this can be, it's hard for you to receive compensation or like really accurate compensation, or even glorifying over giving. A sense of separation or not fitting in. So these are all forms of the way scarcity shows up, really. So that's, again, like the disconnection piece. Emotional and mental distance from money. So yeah, so just a dysfunctional relationship emotionally and mentally, which I had for years. Confidence or self-esteem issues, especially around the value of your work and other people's valuing it. Resistance to visibility and effective sales strategies. So it's a consistent marketing and effective marketing and sales strategies. Resisting really diving into those things. And that's connected to lack of business systems, marketing and sales strategies. I love this phrase, tying your self-worth to your net worth. So when things don't work out or you don't make as much money as you'd hoped in something, making it mean something about your worth, as opposed to just that's what happened and you can learn from it and move on. And this is a huge one. Stuck at a money ceiling in business. So there's a difference between making money in a job and making money in a business. And when people change to the business, so that they already have like sort of a money bucket, like their capacity to generate money based on what they made as an employee. And they can usually get there eventually, but to go beyond that, there's a money ceiling a lot of times for people, or sometimes there's a money ceiling that's lower than what they made as an employee, because they feel like it's different making money as in a business, or making money from your creativity. Yeah, but it is possible to make more money than a job. Like I've more than doubled my income from what I made as a professional teacher, or professor, whatever you call it. All right, this is cutting off the top here. What does it say? Okay, what have you heard yourself say that supports any of these? So your language reveals these beliefs. So do your actions, of course, but your language also. So notice if there's any of these that resonate. I can't charge that much. I'm not good at numbers or business. I'm not a marketer. I hear this one all the time from creatives. So you don't have to be the salesperson who's like, hey, you don't have to be that used car salesman person. But if you're selling something, you're a salesperson. If you have something to sell and you're making it visible to people, you're marketing. Whether it's just telling people what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, or showing it to people, that's all sales and marketing. So letting go of that identity piece, because okay. And then I'm just trying to blah, blah, blah. I hear this all the time too. Like, I'm just trying to make the minimum, or just trying to get to here. It's like really like, you know, stifling the vision to settle. And that's a self-worth thing. That's too expensive, I can't afford that. Both those kind of statements are huge. And in my money program, I go into ways to deal with those ideas and how to approach it differently to empower yourself. Okay, I can't make a good living as a blah, like whatever it is you're doing. So that's a cultural belief too that's been thrown upon us. Okay, this one, whew, money is not important to me. How's that working for you? So, you know, you don't have to be greedy, but if you're in the matrix, you know, unless you're totally unplugged and you own your land and you're off the grid, money is a relationship. And if it's not an important relationship, you're sabotaging your potential and your gifts. Okay, what else? Okay, so think about one belief that I just said, or that you hold, that from a reflection from yesterday. And we're going to take that one belief and write it down. So write it down on a piece of paper or your tablet or your phone or something. All right, so it could be, for example, I'm not a marketer, or I'll never double my income in my business. All right, so think about why you think this. Like, where did this message come from that I'm not a marketer? Like for me, like I never identified with business in college, for example. I was an English major with the art and history minors, like all liberal arts. So business was something I did not identify with, and math was not my favorite thing. So like I used to also feel this way, that okay, it's not me, you know. But obviously it's changed because now I'm a business geek. Okay, so all right. So notice how that feels, just to say I'm not a marketer, or whatever the phrase you have there is. And breathe into that for just 1 second. Just notice how it feels to believe this statement. Okay. So now you're going to flip it around. You're going to write the opposite. So take that phrase and write the opposite. I am a marketer. It's totally possible to double my income in my business. And then think about how it's true. How is this reverse statement true? Find one little inkling of truth and then find another. So if I was playing with the I'm a marketer one, okay, I do have a Facebook page for my business. I do have an Instagram account. I do go to shows and show people my work. I do, you know, participate in, you know, different groups in LinkedIn and different places. And you know, depending on your business, depends on how visible you are and how that works. It's totally possible to double my income in my business. So that could be supported by looking at other people who've done it, by looking at how much you've already done, how much you've already accomplished. And maybe you didn't think that was possible at some point. Okay, so how does that feel? How does it feel to take that belief, flip it around, and to own that, to replace that belief and breathe into that? Great. Okay. Okay. Now think of one action you can do to reinforce this belief. So if it was, I'm a marketer, like do something that's marketing focused, like put something out there and, you know, commit to doing this thing in the next 5 days. So put it in your calendar to make it happen. So what you're doing here is you're taking limiting belief, you flipped it around, and now you're reinforcing that belief and you're creating more of that belief. So you're stepping more into this thing that you are, you know, it's going to support your vision. So for those of you who received the money mindset kit, this is the manifesto you're going to get, or you've gotten, that has a lot of different affirmations to support the next level of your belief system. And then we also do a ton of those beliefs in my money program. We do so many of them. I have lists and lists of them. And so some of them will stick for people and some of them won't. And I just got a used book that I love, it's a money book. And it was somebody else put the limiting beliefs in the book. And I was like, gold mine, because I geek out on that stuff. So yeah, so I have like so many lists from different programs. It's super fun to take those and see which ones stick. And sometimes people share some that are just like so powerful that I never would have thought of. Okay, so I'm going to introduce you to a concept here called the comfort zone and the growth zone. So I mentioned earlier, you know, I mentioned like for me, I resisted business, marketing, sales, and I had to really get out of my comfort zone and my identity to step into business and to make it my own and to reframe the components of business that helped me really step into owning business and making it happen for myself. And so I just want to say, you know, we talked about the lizard the first day, the little lizard brain, and the lizard brain wants to stay in the comfort zone, familiarity, security, certainty. And the fear zone is when you step outside of that comfort zone where you can make excuses, and money is one of the biggest excuses that people make. Oh, I can't do that because I can't afford it. And it's just a way to keep yourself safe. Afraid of failure, being afraid of what people will think. And that's just projection most of the time, or just lack of confidence. And lack of confidence is because you haven't developed the skills that you need yet. So it's just learning. So that's where you go into the learning zone. The learning zone extends your comfort zone. It increases your knowledge. It develops confidence. You get new skills and you enhance motivation. So I've even heard it said that stepping outside of your comfort zone is just learning new skills, you know, new mindsets, new skills. And then the growth zone is where in the learning zone, but especially the growth zone is where the magic happens. You discover your purpose. You feel it more wholeheartedly. You set new goals. You get downloads for new ideas that you never saw really coming that will expand your vision further. You mobilize your creativity and innovation on a whole new level. You're living your dreams and you're feeling fulfilled. So this is huge because, you know, and I think it's especially tempting right now to stay in our comfort zone because there's so much crap going down in the world. But I think it's the most important time to create more, to focus on more skills and more mindset shifts and connection and community so that you can actually make stuff happen and that you're not just kind of watching the world pass by. So the big question is, do you want your vision more than you want comfort? James Clear, who's big on really amazing habits, he wrote Atomic Habits. Every action you take is like a vote for the type of person you want to become. And then Tosha Silver, who wrote, she's written a lot of really great books, but one of them is It's Not Your Money. She says, I want to see what I become more than I want to see what I get from it. So both of these concepts are more about like who you're going to become, you know, with this growth mindset and stepping into the growth that you're creating, because that will be the person who can attract your vision, like this future self from you that will be able to create and attract, you know, receiving that feather. Okay. The good news is that you only have to have a 1 degree shift to make a big difference. So if you set a sail from North America, headed on the Atlantic Ocean, and you make a 1-degree turn, you can end up on a different continent, because over time that 1 degree adds up and you can end up on a different continent than you originally planned. So, you know, that's so refreshing, because it doesn't mean you have to change everything all at once or make this huge change. So far, here are the 8 principles. The principle of enough, coming from a place of enough. The principle of receiving, allowing yourself to receive. Principle of vision, leading from your vision, letting that pull you. Principle of acknowledgement, acknowledging what you're doing, the progress you've made, and having gratitude. The principle of reclaiming truth, noticing all the messages about money, and then really reframing those and letting go of the things that don't serve you. Principle of value, owning your own value, and also really acknowledging the value that you're providing and owning that value. The principle of relationship, seriously being able to have a conscious relationship with money that you nurture and cultivate. And 8, the principle of non-grasping or allowing. So receiving it in a way that is not chasing, and yeah, in a peaceful way. Okay. So have y'all, and y'all can just nod, those of you who are here live, have y'all enjoyed our time together and found it valuable? Okay. Have you had some mindset shifts around money? Yes. Okay, good. Have you had some aha moments about your business? Great. And do you feel excited about new possibility in your business and your finances? Yes, great. I'm getting one of these too. Love it. Is it true to say you have more advantage in your business now than before this 4-day challenge? Yeah. And even some, you know, I could even ask, like, do you have more advantage than those people who don't have this mindset shift? Yeah, awesome. And has your perception of money changed forever? That's all. Look, ever see money the same again, right? Okay. All right, great. And have you felt a boost of inspiration and connection with this beautiful community that you all created? Yeah, I love the inspiration and the connections and the affirmations and acknowledgement y'all have provided for each other in the group. That's awesome. Okay. So this is like your business. So this little cogs the wheel. So imagine this is your business for a minute. And I lost my place. Sorry. Okay, so imagine that this is your business and that you are moving along smoothly, cruising along, and then you notice that you're at a stuck place and there's something that's stopping you from moving along and moving forward or growing. This thing that's in the way could be money mindset, or perceptions, and relationship to business and all those concepts, or some kind of scarcity thing that's holding you back. But that thing can become the missing link in your business to allow you to be stronger and move forward in ways you haven't seen before. So I have absolute confidence that you could take what you've learned here in this 4-day challenge, and you can put it in action and get results like you never have before. And I'm certain that with this information left on your own resources, you could take this and go beyond what most people could without this information. And if that was your only option, that'd be totally worth pursuing. And some of you may choose that path, but you don't have to do it that way. There's another option that I'm going to share. The truth is that you're reprogramming your whole life's programming around money and mindset. And for prosperity mindset to be a natural part of your everyday and your relationship with money, you're going to need consistent focus, practice, and to flip a lot of these beliefs on their heads and to replace them with not only new beliefs, but also new habits. So I don't want this to be one of those workshops where you take it and you don't get to apply it fully to your business, because it's easy to get sucked back into the drift of daily life and all the stuff that's there all the time that can suck us down. I believe in coaching. I've been a coach for 18 years and I've hired countless coaches over those years. And I know that for a lot of businesses, private coaching is not always available. So I'm actually teaching a class that's starting this coming week. That's a 6-week group that is about the cost of, it's basically it's like 90% off of what it would cost to coach with me. So for less than 1 month of coaching, you can have the same amount of time with me, and it's like a few months of coaching. So, and I love the power of community, and I love teaching and community and creating those things, because there's like some kind of crazy exponential growth that happens when you're together in a group and bouncing off of each other for healing and ideas. So for those of you who are serious about increasing your income and feel like this is the next step for you, I want you to lean in, invite you to lean in and hear more about this program and learn some more mindset shifts. And if you know it's not for you, then I would suggest you take a bio break for a few minutes and then come back for the questions and the little coaching at the end of this call. Okay. Okay, so this program is a 6-week program that is a breakthrough from your money blocks, and you will claim prosperity. It will replace your limiting beliefs and own your worth. You'll get the missing link in your business growth, and you will forever, from here on, change your relationship with money. It's 6 modules. I've taught this before, so I've refined the content quite a bit. So the first module is vision and clarity. You go from your vision all the way to making more money. And I'm going to give you a sales page link to look at all this. It's all very, very thorough. So what you'll get is that you'll replace limiting beliefs from the childhood and the culture that we're all swimming in. You'll get new money habits and growth. So this is an internal and external program. So it's not just about mindset like this has been a lot. It's more also about like the external stuff too, and money. And so I'll teach a lot of actual skills and knowledge about money. You'll connect and heal in a like-minded community of creatives. You'll get strategies to deal with fluctuating income and expenses. This is something that every creative, every entrepreneur has. Your income's up 1 month, down another month. How do you manage that? How do you make it work for you? How do you plan for it? There's some money management tools that are super fun for that. You'll learn how to reduce and clear emotional money triggers and guilt. So you'll be able to talk about money easier and have less guilt about money and dealing with money. You'll build trust with yourself and money no matter what your past. So you'll rebuild that connection. You'll be able to make money decisions from your value system. So you'll access your value system and what's important to you, what's aligned for you, and then you'll be able to make decisions from that place. You'll have confidence in making more money and managing it. So this is what it looks like. It's a 6-week course, and there's 75-minute live Zooms each week. So basically we'll be like this in a Zoom, 75 minutes, and there'll be recordings as well. You'll get also in a Facebook group with, I'll share videos, worksheets, and processes, and I'll give you access to this amazing customized library of resources that I have that is super great for all kinds of business stuff. And then the Facebook group is priceless. So much amazing connection and healing and support happens there. And if you want, you can also have a partner in the group so you can support each other and do exercises and either do accountability or support whatever kind of buddy you want. And I'll teach you how to do that. This is when it is. It starts this coming Thursday on the September 23rd, and it's 4 p.m. Until 5:15 p.m. Eastern. So it's basically September 23rd through October. And this is a client who took it a couple of years ago. She's changed her perception of herself and her artwork, and she is able to price her work for what it's worth. And before the program was even over, she had her best show at a venue that she showed at many times. And this is another testimonial from a client who took the program 2 years ago, and I just got this from her a few weeks ago. She said that this program was a turning point in taking her business to the next level, that she's now netting 5K a week, and that she's opened a retirement account and she's like making up for lost time basically. And she said, if you're not sure about investing in your money mindset with this program, consider that it will pay you back for years to come. That's my intention. So this program has potential to create a turning point in your relationship with money and to break through your money ceiling. So wherever you're hit so far, this is an opportunity to break through that. I know this is a gorgeous ceiling and you probably wouldn't want to break through it, but still the same idea. Yes, to break through it. Okay, so here's the price. Before I tell you the price, I want to tell you what the program is not. The program is not a quick fix. I'm not going to tell you how to win the lottery. It's really about for people who want to, they have a vision, they want to create something, they're bringing powerful things into the world, and they are dedicated to commit to this relationship with money on a whole new level. So the program is easily worth $1,200, probably more. And the investment is $497. And I do have a payment plan. So, but before, then also I have bonuses. So because money mindset is more, not just the way you think, it's also needs to practice, turn into practice in your business. So I've had tons of mentors over the years learning about business and business trainings. And I'm going to teach you what I know, the baseline about marketing, to access a new mindset about marketing and strategies and tools to be more visible in ways that are aligned for you and to engage people more fully. This will be in November. So that one will be in November. And then marketing only goes so far without sales. And sales is the link between marketing and your client and the bank account. So I'm going to give you another free ticket to another workshop that will happen in early December, just in time for the holiday season and the new year, depending on your business. And that will be a sales training. And I'll also give you some scripts. And also, like, you know, my mentors around sales are, they're amazing. And I've learned about at least a dozen different sales processes. And a lot of them don't work for me because they're manipulative. And I'm always tweaking it, of course. So I will teach you what I know. And I've done everything from selling jewelry to selling high-end coaching packages. Okay. So, and then your vision. So for the new year, I'm going to have a vision workshop, and these will be like an hour and a half, 2 hours each. And I will charge for these. So I'm giving you free tickets if you sign up for this program. This is to motivate you to create momentum for the new year, to deepen your vision further, and to create, you know, also be like, you know, you'll have 3 months here of extended support with this group that you'll be in, because you'll be in these classes together. So you'll invest all the time in your business. You invest in your business in materials, in supplies, in tools, in trainings, in sweat, and countless hours. Don't let it be in vain if something is blocking you from making more money and being successful. You didn't come this far to just come this far. If you feel like this is something that would support you, I encourage you to sign up. And because I really, really appreciate you all being here and participating in this program, I haven't taught like this in a long time, and I am enjoying it, and I love the community you're creating. I'm going to give you $100 off if you use this code by Tuesday. And that's where you go. So you go to Jen Ailey Coaching, so JENALY coaching.com and /mastery. And I'll post this in the Facebook group too. So, this is, I'm excited about this program. I know some of you will join it. It's already about half full. And registration will end, like, this coupon's good till Tuesday, and registration will end Wednesday. So I can see who's going to be in it and what that looks like. All right. So I'm going to stop the share here after this one more slide. So thinking about what is possible for you when money no longer limits you. Just tuning into that possibility. Okay. Okay, so here we are. Let's ask some questions. What questions do you have? What mindset shifts did you have? You can share. Make sure there's nothing. Okay, great. We have some watchers on Facebook too. So who may have a question or want some coaching or want to share any insights you had around the mindset shifts, the process of flipping your beliefs? Yeah, go ahead. You're
Hi,
hi.
I'm Lisa.
Hi.
You've only seen me as the little clouds in the Facebook.
Okay. Hi, Lisa. I wondered that was you. Great.
Yeah, I've been hiding.
No worries.
So
Here you are.
well, here's me in my tie-dye because I'm in the middle of making art.
Nice.
So excuse the non-professional
No, please,
appearance.
please.
I have to say two things. One is I've been feeling a lot of resistance to the part of it today that with the flipping it on the head. It's like, holy cow, that's hard. But it feels good.
Mhm.
So I wanted to share that. I also wanted to share that I've been telling a lot of my creative friends about this workshop. It's been so energizing and so motivating that when you were talking about, and this was a kicker, the synchronicity of the universe, when you were talking about being visible and being out there and the ankle biter problem,
Yeah.
right? I've owned the domain names that I have for maybe 15 or 20 years and have never had a website.
Oh, wow.
So I am now almost done with my website for my two different businesses because I'm one of those ambidextrous, multi-crossover creatives in that I'm an editor and I have an editorial business, but I'm also a visual artist. Like you can see on my walls back over here, over there, is my art gallery. And it started off with all the stuff that my friends made. And now half of the stuff that's up is mine.
Nice.
So my thing has always been, and so the limiting belief thing is where I'm struggling because in my overachieving family, I've been the starving creative. And that's the part of it that I need to get past is translating my art, which I'm now confident enough that I sell in a gallery. And I started off, like you were saying, with jewelry. And then it went into this product that I call mask mates, which are jewel chains that hold your mask. So that if you're taking it off and on, you don't put it down, you don't lose
Right.
it. Got a lot of testimonials for that. And that migrated into a whole bunch of other art.
Great.
So I want to say thank you for motivating me to tackle this website thing.
That's
because
brilliant.
15 years of no website and I can build computers. So it's
the comprehension issues. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
and it's what, like you were saying, it's the value. When we flashing back to the tooting your own horn part of, I think, day one, that one for me was also huge because as a Midwesterner, I live in Colorado. I didn't put any of that in the notes. I live in the mountains of Colorado. There's elk outside right now.
Nice.
It's the rut, that's where I wake up. And I built this life that, I mean, you might be able to see a little bit of where I live. I have beautiful ceilings and beautiful stuff. And I've done this all in 3 years post-divorce after 25 years
Oh, wow.
with the same person. So I believe, but finding the right steps to take to make the connections between who I am, what I do, and how to get it out there and sell it. I can do it for everybody except myself.
So far. So you have been for everybody. So yeah. Right. Yeah. So it sounds like this is beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Lisa. It sounds like you know how to make change because you've already done it. And that you've done it really well. Your cabin's gorgeous.
Thank you.
And now you're stepping into like, wait a second, I don't have to keep wearing this freaking shirt that says starving artist.
Right.
I can take that off and put on thriving artist and step into what I want to create and make it happen. Yes. And prove them wrong,
Yes. Well, and that's why I now carry Coach. My laptop is Coach. That's my little reminder. And so that was when you talk about giving yourself something sort of to focus on as that aspiration. Having lived in the mindset of poverty when I was the sole support of my family, pre-divorce and all of that, that's my reminder. So I might be in tie-dye right now, but when I leave this place to go out and sell art or do shows, my bags reflect where my aspirations are. And so that's my little gift to self / reminder that prosperity is possible. So
it sounds like that's an anchor for you of prosperity, and that's a symbol for you and a
yeah.
reminder. Beautiful. Thank you. Let's give her a little
Thank
okay.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for sharing. That's really inspiring.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay. Nikki, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Jen, and thanks for this. This has been great.
Good to see you.
I just wanted to check in. It's like, I guess my activity that I did for, that maybe the ankle biter one was contacting a bookkeeper to work with. And I've had, a business a long time ago where, completely used accountants and CPAs and that type of thing to make sure everything was in order. But I think most of the time that I've done this business, which has been like since 2008 or so, it's like I haven't had that type of support. I haven't ever really had a bookkeeper so that I can know where the numbers are. And I've learned a lot. So I do a lot of it myself, but I still don't have like my, fingers on the pulse. And so I realized before this started, kind of in between, I guess, the intro and coming here, was that I judge myself a lot for where my finances and stuff are. And it seems like they should be in much better shape. And I actually am able to help a lot of other people to generate more quickly as well. And that there's like this level of shame or guilt or what have you. And the analogy that came to me was like, you want to get a housekeeper, but it's like, okay, as soon as I get the house all cleaned up, I'll call the housekeeper. And so I keep, it's like, okay, well, as soon as I get here, I'll ask for help with bookkeeping and getting some of those things in order. And I just realized so much that there's, just that level of shame and level of guilt and, what have you done? What are you doing? What decisions have you made? And a lot of that past stuff that
past. Yeah.
I'm definitely dragging with me on a, on a bundle that's like, attached to my foot or something. So
right. But it's also like, if you take those, and I don't know how to do this, like take those beliefs and flip them and then keep reinforcing that and keep putting yourself in environments where those beliefs are supported, because you're a badass and you're contributing in amazing ways. I know that about you. So, remembering that as well, that allowing piece, like you're not chasing it, you're allowing it, and you're creating value, and just keep doing that and keep, raising your prices, whatever you need to do. And I think about that piece about the housekeeper versus the bookkeeper kind of thing. Like you could actually use that to where you have an appointment with the bookkeeper. That way you have to get it in order to make that, because it's there. Like it's like, okay, I will clean a little bit before the cleaner comes, but if she's coming anyway,
Well, we met yesterday.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was.
Y'all are on it. Website after 15 years.
Okay. Yeah, we met yesterday and it went really well, but afterwards I just felt like all of this, I mean, almost like you're standing naked in a sense. And it's like, we didn't even get into all the numbers and everything yet. So I'm like, okay, it's like, wow, this is really bringing up a lot of stuff.
Wow.
But it's a lot of that enough. Like, there's never a level, I think, that will be enough. And so I really have to kind of dig into that. So we're talking about
and being present and it's like allowing yourself to be where you are, acknowledging the progress, and then keeping on taking steps and getting support to move forward in ways, because I know you know that. I just want to say it again because it's so important to have that. Cool.
Yeah, so
beautiful. My pleasure. All right, let's do one more question or reflection. Okay, Peter.
Yeah, what grabbed me the most on this in this 4-day was the future play.
Mm,
I'm actually practiced this a lot since I was a little kid. I'd see myself actually doing stuff before with no money and actually doing this. And you go through waves. So what I found is that I go through a wave of not even recognizing future play. And then I future play and I go, oh my God, that was awesome. And then I'll forget about it. So I've committed to 365 days of future play recordings
nice.
every day.
Awesome.
Called future play for my business now. I've been I've been a great people person for 25 years in construction. That's why I was good at it. I was in the field. I really held the value of every single person on my job site. So people wanted to come to my job site.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized that I could do that for the rest of my life and be a great builder. But I wasn't following my dream of really connecting to the community and giving back to the community. And my money fears were around watching the owners of this company treat people like crap.
Mm.
And so my fears were, or my money idea was, well, I can't become rich doing what I'm going to do because then I'll be the bad guy.
Oh, interesting.
I'll be the guy that has the money, but then he might treat people like crap. And then we were talking about yesterday about, if you're greedy again. If you're generous again. Well,
Yeah.
that's who I am because my heart gets I'm heated up right now in my heart.
Absolutely.
And it's about finding that niche and believing in yourself so much that you can be this beacon of light around, connecting people, being hold of people, no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And this has really helped me just understand. And so now my partner and I, we do it right before we go to bed too. We'll do future play.
Perfect. Megan.
And so it's just like, oh yeah, and Megan, yeah. And just, it's just like, hey, so, and I do an interview. And so what does it feel like to be coming off the plane after going on the Oprah show? And, just whatever, stuff like that. And so we get to be silly, but at the same time, I feel that it's a connection that if you keep it up, it absolutely just multiplies and multiplies and multiplies.
Absolutely. And what you just said that so in Chinese medicine, some of you may know this, in Chinese medicine, the heart is one of the components, the emotional connections of the heart is play and fun. So when you're doing that, you're connecting with your heart and you're accessing the power of your heart to help co-create it. Boom. Especially if you're doing it with your love, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I just really want to thank you. And, I left my job after 25 years,
Yeah.
4 months ago. I knew I had to take a break because if I didn't, I was probably just going to fall back into it again.
Yeah.
And now I'm in the pool. I jumped off into the deep end. And I'm swimming around in the stuff, which you have to do for a while to climb yourself out.
Yeah.
This is going to help me align myself for sure. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wanted to speak to like the swimming around, and Mickey, what you said too about like, and Melissa even too about like how it's hard. Like what you're doing as you're accessing or thinking about these things that are not serving you is you're acknowledging them and you're clearing them out. You're feeling it to heal it. So feel it to heal it. And so, but the good news is you don't have to feel it forever, because the angst of not doing what you want to do is a long-term relationship with not doing or being stuck. So you just have to keep going through the tunnel. And the thing about it is like when you feel stuff, it moves. And then if you can replace it with something else, you're on a whole different playing field. That 1 degree keeps happening, Great. Okay.
Hey, good job.
Thank you all so much for being here. I'll see you in the Facebook group, which will be up until next Wednesday. And then those of you who join the program will join the Facebook group. It will start next Thursday. And reach out to me with any other questions, and I'll reach out to you all too to do another check-in and see how it's integrating. And thank you so much for being here and stepping into a new level of prosperity and relationship with money. Thank you for doing this and connecting here. All right. Thank you all.